and welcome back to another episode of the Zero Empty Spaces podcast, episode 46, with Gulfstream Park resident artist Alyssa of We Are Tufty.
Hi, everybody.
That is correct. If you didn't know about Zero Empty Spaces, we, as arts advocates, community builders, and creative entrepreneurs, started an initiative to activate vacant commercial real estate spaces to create affordable working artist studios so artists like her can have space to create and collaborate affordably outside their homes. It's led to a myriad of win-win-win benefits over the last 4 years and now 30 spaces that we've activated across 3 states, with over 400 artists coming through the program, changing hundreds of artists' lives thousands of times over. If you'd like to find out more, you can log on to www.zeroemptyspaces.com. But the point of the podcast is to connect you, the viewer, with the talented creatives like her, and this is a first for us. So without much further ado, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself at a high level and some of what we're looking at and what you do in this beautiful space here?
Yeah, absolutely. So like Evan did say, my name is Alyssa, and I'm a fiber-based artist here, or fiber artist based out of Miami here in Florida, and I love what I do. I found tufting when I was going through some really bad postpartum depression, and I'm talking ugly, ugly. I almost lost my husband. I almost lost my child. I almost lost my life, if I'm being really honest with you. The depression really just kind of overtook me. I became a different version of myself, an angrier version of myself, a version that I didn't even recognize anymore. One of my girlfriends was trying to kind of break me of the funk, and she said to me, why don't we try to do something? What is it that you like? What is it that we can do? What interests you right now? And I was like, well, nothing. Nothing interests me. I don't want to do anything. There's nothing we can do. And she's like, okay, that's not going to work. Mental health first. Let's try to think backwards. When you were a kid, what used to make you happy? When you were feeling down and out, what would cheer you up? And I sat there and I thought, well, art really made me happy. When I was a kid, I used to really thoroughly enjoy just sitting down with my sketchbook and drawing, doodling, sketching, whatever my heart desired, whether it was a swirl, a guitar, or my dog, or whatever came across my lap. I was just really, really interested in doodling. My parents had a tumultuous relationship, so I really did find solace in art as a kid. So when I was reflecting here as an adult, I thought, you know what, maybe I should go back to art. And everybody during the pandemic had picked up rug tufting, and I was seeing it on TikTok, and I thought, you know what, there's something pretty cool about that. Maybe I should be able to, pick up a gun and try this out. Why not? And so my girlfriend and I did. We signed up for a class in Miami, and we went down, and I instantly fell in love. I knew this is what I wanted to do. I went home. I bought all of the equipment. I figured out how to build myself a little tufting frame. I'm buying saws and heavy machinery that I have no business using, but I'm out here doing it. And I really found the therapy behind art. And that's really truly what broke me out of that depression. That's what gave me the voice and the desire to have a voice, even. Because when you're going through something as dark as PPD, there was no desire for anything, nothing. And so when I finally had that, oh my gosh, I want to do something. This is exciting again. This is great. So I kind of just ran with it. And before I knew it, I had relatives asking me, hey, can you make so-and-so a rug for this birthday? Or can you do this for a holiday? Or what about this? Or I'm looking for that. Or I just got the... And so before you knew it, I'm making custom rugs for everybody. And I'm like, okay, hold on. I think I need to make some money on this. I love doing it as a hobby, but if there's so much interest in it, maybe there's a little bit, a deeper way that I can dive into it. And so here we are. I'm really fortunate for Zero Empty Spaces and what you do offer, because there's only so much space in my living room that I can do this in. And you really do provide us the space as artists to have our materials to create, have the space to place our creations, and have the space to create in general. It's really great. And it's done wonders for my mental health, and I imagine for mental health of people, everywhere else. The science behind art and positive mental health is just, it's astonishing. It really truly is astonishing with how much you can heal yourself truly with just expressing what's on the inside.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
it's great.
I appreciate you saying that. This is a great time to tell you and them that we are going to host a workshop on burnout for creatives and mindfulness to combat
That's
burnout for
awesome.
creatives with my coach and teacher, Chloe Ravel, Gemini Rising, and probably do some sound bowls and give some breathwork exercises. So that's another thing, but we'll get there.
Oh, that sounds great.
Now, I appreciate appreciate you sharing transparently.
Hmm.
B, I appreciate you. C, I appreciate you even kind of just framing it, because pandemic, post-pandemic, pre-pandemic, everybody's fighting a battle that nobody knows about, right? That's going on inside of them. So, a friendly reminder to be kind always. That's paraphrased from Socrates, but it's
Yeah.
still accurate thousands of years later.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we have presented this opportunity. I'm so glad that your girlfriend presented or cared enough to even present a
Yep.
different thought. This is a different medium.
Totally.
That you are the first of over 400 to be our first tufting artist. But I can see some art on you. Um, I'm going to imagine you mentioned briefly that you were interested in art as a kid. Did you ever paint? Did you ever draw? Did you ever dabble in other mediums?
I
What was your
did.
early experience or exposure to art or with art?
So early on for me, I loved Sharpies. Once I got
Me
my
too.
hands on Sharpies, I just went crazy. I was doodling on notebooks, on pens, or on not pens, on folders, on binders, on anything that had to do with my school stuff. Everybody in the class knew it was mine because it had a flower or a guitar or a music note or something, eloquently doodled, essentially, is what it was. It was just an over doodle. And then when I grew up a little bit more, I really thoroughly loved painting. Painting is, if I go back to my roots, acrylic paint is where it's at. Um, I keep it all in my son's bedroom now, but I have just so many just works of art that I've made over the years, and just to kind of see how everything has progressed. That's probably one of my most favorite things, is to kind of sit back and look at my art over the years and how it has changed in style and medium in everything. It's my art has grown with me.
And literally to new mediums. Now,
Mm-hmm.
with you developing this new medium, so you initially you did the workshop. I remember you told me previously that the space was really cool.
It was.
Little, I'm sorry, in Hialeah?
Yeah, it's in Hialeah. The space that I created at, it was a cute little spot called Artisans Playhouse. They offer pottery classes, live sketch classes, and then they also do the tufting class, which was really fun. And they've actually inspired me to go off and try to start my own tufting classes, which is something that I'm going to be trying to do here.
You are going to do here.
Absolutely.
You are doing here.
I'm doing it
We
here.
published it.
It's been published. And in hopes to kind of bring that positive mental health, aspect into it, because truly this is a rebellious outlet. The size of the gun that I'm using, I'll show you for reference. It's big. I mean, this is a severely large piece. It's probably about 10 to 12 inches. It's a heavy power tool. There's something rebellious about using power tools, but there's something also so like organized about the way you have to lay the fibers into the backing. It's rebellious. It's organized. It's just something so beautiful. It's like a dance to
I
me.
never know when to use the term cathartic,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this might be one of those times.
I think it might be.
Art can be so many things for so
Mm-hmm.
many people. Art could be healing, art could be therapy,
Yeah.
art could be history, art could be storytelling, so
Yeah.
many different things. Now, from this initial exposure experience, to then you mentioned family members were asking you,
Mm-hmm.
have you been making the art and the work that you want to make? Or are you making it more commission based? How has because you have some beautiful works you can see just in this frame, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll spin the camera around after and show you some more works here. But how are you going about the creation process?
So that's a really great question. And that's something that I'm actually currently struggling with as an artist.
That's what I'm here for.
Because I want to create what I want to create, but what I want to create isn't necessarily what people want.
What's going to sell?
Exactly. So I do a little bit of both. I spend a little bit of my time exploring with my creativity. I don't want to be stifled. I don't want anybody to tell me you need to live in this box and you need to make what this box tells you to make. So I don't allow, what's going to sell to prevent me from creating, but I do make a lot of commission-based pieces. Everybody wants what they want. If they're going to spend money on something, they want it to match their home, perfectly. So I understand that, but I do try to, as much as possible, press and push some of my custom pieces, like my mirrors, and I really, really love the effect of a wavy mirror.
How is that mirror still on the wall?
I know.
Oh my God! So I want to dissect this a little more.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe let's start with price ranges.
Yeah.
Of maybe you could kind of tell us price ranges for the pieces that you created yourself, and then maybe versus the price ranges if somebody wanted to commission a piece. Maybe you could just refer to some of these that are in frame here.
Yeah, absolutely. So for example, something small like one of these little square, I want to say this is probably like an 11 by 11 mirror. It's nothing too large. This one goes for $100.
Oh, sold.
Yeah, it's nothing too crazy.
Sorry,
But I do also really love my full-size mirrors. Those do sell very quickly. They do not stay. The full-length mirror it starts at 300. It is a larger mirror, but going up to 500, nothing above 5, depending on how many colors you choose, what's the backing you choose, if you want any edging. Everything is completely tailored to the person, to the buyer.
Now,
if you wanted to do something like this, let's say you want to put like your business logo on something, I'm getting a lot of requests for business logos at this moment. And so a lot of companies are telling me, I want something to put at the front of my door, something that stands out. It's not a traditional sign, but it lets the buyer know where they are. Some salons right now are reaching out. And what we could do for logos is all of my logo pieces start at about 3.5 to 4 feet. So if I'm going to do a rug anywhere at 4 feet, it's going to start at $300. Just because of the size and everything that goes behind it, 300 minimum. It does increase obviously with the amount of yarn, the different colors, the design, the intricacies of the logo, what have you. But yeah, I really do enjoy making custom pieces just because they do bring a different level of happiness to a person. They know exactly what they're getting. I'm communicating with them 100% of the time. I do always keep my customers obnoxiously informed. As you've seen on my Instagram, I'm constantly recording videos of my process. Everybody likes to see how the rugs are made. And that's not short on the people that are ordering custom commissioned pieces. They want to know how their piece is made. And so I really do like to keep everybody that's buying a piece from me 100% informed on the process. This is what it looks like today. This is what it looks like tomorrow. Today I have to go shopping for this. Tomorrow I need to make that. And I really do, because it's just as exciting for me as it is for the buyer. When you're purchasing something from Amazon, you get so excited. You can't wait for that box. You know you're getting something good. You want it to get there. You want to know, you want to see, you want to touch, play, open, feel. It's the same thing when you're buying an art piece. And sometimes it takes longer on an art piece than it does your Amazon boxes. And you get just as, curious as, okay, well, where are we at? Where is the development? When will it be done? And that's a part of the fun, for me at least.
As it should be, and for everybody.
Yep.
With regards to custom pieces, do you get some creative when they commission you? So you get some creative inspiration and insight. Hey, I'd like you to make my logo. I'd like you to make this thing.
Yep.
Do you then give them a mock-up?
I do.
Okay.
I do. So I instantly, before anything gets turned into a rug, it's always pre-drawn on my iPad. So everything starts as a digital before it comes to a fuzzy. And before I start the fuzzies, I'll always send up a mock-up just so that I can get final yes, check, that's correct. It's what I'm looking for as far as colors, as far as shape, as far as everything, because there are a lot of intricacies that go into it. And so, for instance, there's a piece I'm working on right now for a client that has a daughter, and it's for her daughter's room. And it's a full-size mirror. And her daughter's room has a lot of bright colors. There's a lot going on in this room. And so mom said to me, how can we pull this all together? I need you to help make me a piece that'll make all of this make sense. And I said, okay. So I, zoomed in on all of the pictures and all of the things the daughter had on the walls just so that I could look at the colors. I don't want to know about the shapes. I don't want to know. I care about the colors because for me, she had enough shapes in that instance. She had enough busy. What I was looking to do is to marry the rainbows of colors that she had on her wall. And so I ended up deciding, or mom and I ended up deciding on a piece. It's going to be very similar to this one, but it's with 3 colors, 1 color from each of the art pieces in the little girl's room. So it really does bring everything together. As far as, inspiration on commissioned pieces, it just depends on the person. It really does. Like for that little girl, I took inspiration from the other art in her room. But for a client like my salon, I'm working on a rug for my salon. Um, it has nothing to do with her logo and everything to do with the ambiance that she's created in her salon. Her salon is very dark and emerald greens and very moody, and I'm trying to bring that moodiness into the rugs.
And you do a great job of doing that.
Thank you.
I get one. I mean, there's so many questions. One question that comes up: can I step on it? Should I not touch it? Should I hang it up? Should it be on the floor?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a rug. So, how do you generally answer those questions?
That's a really good question. So, I tell all of my customers the same thing. It's a rug. You can put it on the floor. You can walk on it. But just like you wouldn't want to wear your expensive shoes every day and walk on those every day because you'll diminish the quality of those expensive shoes, it's the same thing as an art piece. Sure, it's a rug,
right?
But if you put it in a heavily tracked place, you're going to diminish the quality. The fibers are going to wear down. The colors are going to wear down. And it's not going to be as vibrant and as fluffy as what you're seeing right here. And, I personally, I like all of my rugs on the wall. It adds a little bit of texture to the wall. It adds, I grew up in the tapestry era. We were all hanging tapestries on our walls as kids. And this is, a sophisticated tapestry, I guess you could say. No more hanging up cute towels and posters on your walls. You've got pretty rugs.
What would you say is the percentage of your customers that do hang them on the wall versus hang them put them on the floor?
90% of my customers put them on the wall. They do. They start off as, I want it for my floor. And then as they're watching it being developed, they start to ask that question. Well, can I hang it on my wall? Because I see that in your studio, you have them up on your wall. Is that an option? And then I'll say, well, yeah, of course it is an option. For the longevity of your piece, I prefer them on my walls. Why not? And so I do install, if asked, 2 little hooks on the back of the rugs so that they can be easily hung up without having, the clips like I have on this one. And it's secret, it's hidden, it's right behind, and you can put it up on your wall with no problems.
These are really great.
I appreciate it.
Well, I know there are people that would like to learn, create, commission. So fortunately, as you alluded to, you have made opportunities. We're here at the end of September. We have the holidays coming up. Then there's Valentine's. So what are some ways that people could learn or create, make one with you coming up?
I've got a couple of great classes coming up. The next one that I've got is going to be October 6th. If I've got the date correct, it's going to be the day after our open studio here at Zero Empty Spaces. So you can come in on Saturday, watch the artists create, talk to a few of us, get, some of the backstory, and then I'll come back on Sunday to learn how to do it yourself. I'm really excited about that class in particular. I have a couple of sketches pre-drawn, but I do encourage my students to bring their own drawing. This is your therapy as much as it's mine. Why not create something that you want for your room? You don't have the idea of what you want for your room? That's fine. I've got plenty of ideas for you.
Right. And what do those classes run?
It's going to be $120 a class. I provide all the materials. You don't need to do anything but show up.
And they leave with a piece.
You won't leave that day with a piece, as it does take a minimum of 2 days to make any rug. So the first day you'll come in, you'll make your rug, you'll apply a carpet adhesive. The carpet adhesive is a really thick glue. It turns into almost like a gum. If I can compare it to anything in the world, it's more like gum. So you have to allow that carpet adhesive 24 hours for it to cure before you can come back and put the backing on the rug, which is the anti-slip, the pretty part.
I thought the front was the pretty part.
Well, the front is the pretty part, but then there's the pretty part on the back that makes it anti-slip, so you can put it on the floor and make it a regular rug.
And the 120, so
it includes all of that.
And
2 days
but they create it the first day and then pick it up the second day?
Pick it up the second day. Yep.
Which blown glass studios generally do that.
Yep.
You have to let it cool. So yeah, that's pretty fair. And I mean, we're here in Gulfstream Park in Hollandale Beach in Broward County, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
There's Williams-Sonoma next door. There's shops. There's horse racing. There's casinos. So plenty of stuff to do here. Now that is one class, and then do you have something already for Valentine's Day, or
I don't have anything planned yet for Valentine's Day. I will be planning stuff for Valentine's Day. I'm just trying to get through the first, 100%. Lump of holidays first. So right now we've got Halloween, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, and Christmas. So we'll be busy. We will be busy.
Get your orders in now before the queue gets booked, because let's just call it this piece, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So how long does it take you to work on a piece like this?
This piece took about 6 hours. So for the class, I'm not going to have anything larger than that smiley face rug, because that'll take only about 4.
And maybe just can you break down the time? So how much of it is the prep? How much of it is working with the gun? How much of it is the glue, the adhesive?
I would say you spend about 70% of your time working with the gun, 5% with the glue, and then 25%, making sure my mouth is right.
That was good.
25% cutting the rug. So once you first get your rug onto the canvas, it's not going to come out pretty. It's not going to come out, with all of your intricate carves. You have to do that yourself. And that takes a good amount of work. A lot of I like to say the hard part is the carving, because it really is the intricate work. It's what makes the piece kind of come back to life.
Nice. Yep. Well, I mean, these definitely came back to life, and I'm sure I'm sure because you told us, you had to learn. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there was after that initial class.
Oh yeah, such a learning curve.
Trial and error.
Total.
But everybody. This is a friendly reminder, something that I like to remind all people with any venture, medium, project, skill, trait. Everybody starts at zero. Yeah. Everybody started at the same place. Even if your parents were the godfathers of tufting, mm-hmm. you still have to start and learn. And so when was that first experience? You mentioned it was during the pandemic.
Yeah, my very first experience was during the pandemic. It was actually right when the world opened back up. So it was in 2021. And for me, when I let me backtrack a little bit. I went in there thinking I was going to have no idea what I was going to do, thinking I was going to put a hole, I was going to rip this thing up, it was going to look terrible. And, and it turned out that I kind of went in there and not knowingly kind of figured it out. And then I took that confidence with me home, and that's when things started to get messy. When I didn't have the instructor to help me, and I didn't have someone to answer questions, and I thought I, had it all figured out. And then one day I was actually making that piece right up there, that hello goodbye piece, and I put a giant hole in it. and I mean, it was so bad I cried. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what do I do? How do I fix this? And fortunately, there are ways. There are ways to fix rugs when you mess them up. And you know, there's a learning curve with anything. It's like you said, everybody starts off at zero. Everybody starts off knowing nothing. Um, and just little by little, I've spent a lot of time researching and reading books and watching YouTube videos and TikToks of other people that make rugs and other fiber artists that use fibers in other ways. Just anything and everything that I can to just try to pick up on tricks when it comes to working with fibers. It's really been what's gotten me to where I am now.
This has been more or less 2 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's I mean, pretty impressive. You know, you've got a great setup. You've got a great studio.
Thank you.
What are some things that you would like to work on or be commissioned for, or what are some? I mean, have you thought about framing maybe a class as art therapy, art healing, or you know, what's next? What's in the future?
Yeah, I love the idea of incorporating art therapy with my classes. I'm actually working towards getting my art therapy license, so that can be a way that I incorporate it. But as far as works of art that I create, I'm actually leaning towards furniture pieces right now. I'm having a lot of fun creating large ottomans, reupholstering chairs, and just giving everything a new fuzzy feel.
So you are tufting those.
I am. So right now I'm currently working on an ottoman piece that I'm tufting, and I you know, you create all of the size for it, and then you just kind of have to sew it together the way you would stitch any upholstery together. You have to make the, you know, the stencil, the layout, and then stitch, stitch,
Really?
stitch.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It was actually something that it was just my creativity running with me one day. I was at a thrift store and I saw some ottomans that had terrible upholstery. And I thought, oh my gosh, I could make that cute. And I think I am. I think I'm making it cute.
Amen. You put
Yep.
your own spin on it. I don't think I've seen that before. And I
Yeah.
like original things that I haven't seen before. So I think that's really great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really great. You're obviously very humble, very self-aware. And this is really a great reminder. I mean, this is 2 years of practice,
Yeah.
and you're already, you know, at a very proficient level, obviously trial and error and practice and
Yeah.
you know, so on and so forth. But you know, another friendly reminder: if you could do it, anybody could do it.
Oh,
This is
absolutely.
not the I can't draw a circle closed, so I'm not a painter. You know, but there are some things that maybe, you know, not everybody could do or should do, but this is something anybody could
Yeah.
theoretically do.
Yeah, in theory, anyone can do this as long as you're old enough to be working with heavy machinery, you know, sharp things, you're good to
Is it
go.
18 plus?
Yeah, I would suggest 18 plus. I did personally have an injury, so just because I had a severe injury, I wouldn't put anyone under 18 with a gun. It's dangerous. It is dangerous. It is a really fast, sharp, super sharp scissor that's just rapidly coming at you. And then I also use electric scissors for my carving. And unfortunately, I had a run in with my electric scissors. But you know, with anything, you don't, with no sacrifice, there's no growth.
We're just dropping some great quotes today. I would like to take the camera and show them some of the magic that is your studio
Yeah,
here. So we'll give them an opportunity to stay with us.
that's awesome.
So why don't you show us a little bit of your process here in the studio?
Yeah. So to get the yarn threaded, I use one of these long threaders, put it through a couple of holes, and then pull it through. All right. So this is actually a really fun machine because it's got different speeds. I can control the speed down here. So when I'm doing an outline, I really like to keep the speed slow, just so that I can kind of control the shape. You have to press on the frame with all of your might, which was something that I was afraid to do, thinking I was going to put a hole right through the thing. All right. These little fuzzy pieces. All right, now I can crank up the speed. I like to first start by spacing out all my lines, and then I go in and fill the color. So essentially what this does is it's like weaving the yarn through the already woven fabric. So what it does is it's stretching the fabric out. So what you really want to do, this is why I space out my lines first, is to keep things symmetrical as much as possible. You put 2 lines on this side, you put 2 lines on that side. You put 6 lines over here, you put 6 lines over there. Otherwise, once it's all said and done, your piece is going to be wonky, lopsided. So even though this looks messy, it'll eventually look like this.
Trust it. I trust your process. That was great. Yay, Mickey Mouse.
Yay, Mickey Mouse.
So everybody loves to see this ball of yarn.
Yes, my yarn wall. It's really funny because a lot of people actually ask me if that's for sale.
Of course.
The answer is no, it is not. But if you would like it, sure, why not? This can be made yourself. I actually use all types of yarn. So it's not just acrylic yarn. It's not just wool yarn. I use different types. The different types of yarn, the different textures, the different fibers give a different feeling on your rug. So where sometimes a fiber like this will give a nice green, I'll use a fiber like this, which is a little bit thinner. It's more like a shoelace, and it gives less of a fuzzy and more of like a stiff end. So really, truly, I have so much fun with my yarn. I really do. I'm like a cat back here.
All yarns matter.
All yarns matter.
Oh my God. How about, just curious, how much supplies cost go into a rug?
So actually a good amount, more than people realize.
Yeah.
Depending on the skein of yarn that I'm purchasing, it really does vary in price, especially like wool yarns. I will tell you, this orange right here, these 4 little balls, $80.
Each? Total?
In total,
yeah.
It was $80.
I believe it.
Just because it was wool. You know, it really does vary. Some people are like, oh, why can't you just go to Michael's? Okay, well, if I go to a craft store, you'll get, you know, craft level materials. If you want stronger, more durable materials, the wool, the cotton, it goes up in price. Everything really is more expensive. And even getting like this backing material that you saw me tufting into, that's custom. I can't just go on Amazon and order it. I have to go to the art store and have them specifically make me the sizes that I need. So it really does. A lot of work goes into just prepping the materials before it goes into, you know, making the rug itself. I spend a lot of time store hopping, trying to find the right shade of yarn for projects, especially like the custom commission pieces. When it's something for myself, I can kind of bend on the color a little bit more. But for the custom commission stuff, if somebody's set on a color, they're set on a color.
Right.
I'm shopping.
You're going to deliver.
I'm going to spend the next 2 days trying to find the best color, the best match, even if that means that I'm driving up to Jacksonville today.
Oh.
Oh,
wow.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I make drives. I make drives for yarn.
Well, I'd like to think that hopefully we could find you some material sponsor that would love to have their branding
Absolutely.
in here, and you could be the tufting influencer, which I know you mentioned there are some on TikTok, but there's always room for more.
Always.
And none of them are in Zero Empty Spaces.
No.
So we'll put that in the universe. If there's any materials, sponsors, supply companies that are listening to this podcast, that we'll send it to all of them.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to mention while we're recording is your prices are going to go up.
Yes, they will
and
be.
we want to let the audience know that yesterday's prices might not be there tomorrow.
That's very correct.
So they're very, very affordably priced now. But you probably want to become a Tufty collector before there's another zero at the end. But
Definitely.
You could pay whatever you want to pay. Last question that we generally like to ask artists is, what do you like the most about having a studio to create in outside of your home?
Oh my gosh, that is so easy. The camaraderie. I love that not only do I have a space to create, but I have a space to create with other artists. So if there's ever a day that I'm just feeling a little bit blocked or stuck in something, I know that I can go 2 studios down and ask Pablo for some help. I know that I can, go over to Andrea and say, hey, Andrea, can you give me your advice about this? I think, hands down, the camaraderie is my favorite part about working here.
Love to hear it. Love to see it. Here's a little bit of the communal gallery space that artists get to exhibit in. And mind you, we don't take any commission on anything that sells. And the other thing that we wanted to show you, some more of these works. So this is like a Dali-inspired clock.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I love it.
And it's functional, which is super fun.
I cannot even fathom the mechanics in my brain. If they would like to follow you on the social medias and the interwebs, where can they find you?
Yeah, they can always find me on Instagram or TikTok at We Are Tufty. Again, that is at We Are Tufty. And you find the live time, updates of what's going on in my studio there. You'll see updates to my classes. You'll see what I'm doing behind the scenes. If the studio changes, you'll get all those updates.
The studio does change. There's I can't believe how much these clocks go for.
These clocks are $250.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're fun.
If they do want to commission you, what is generally the process?
Best way to get a commission is to either send me an email or send me a message on Instagram. I'm really friendly. I like to talk. So you'll go ahead and shoot me a message with what it is that you're looking for, and I will try my best to make sense of what it is you're looking for and give you back a mock-up, give you back a price range. I do like to get back to my messages within, a couple of hours of receiving them. So if I haven't gotten back to you, I always ask people just to send another message. Don't be afraid to annoy me. You won't annoy me. Sometimes messages get hidden. So.
Amen. What's the best email address?
Alyssa at tuftyrugs.com.
And
you can find all of that information on my Instagram at We Are Tufty.
Can't believe that wasn't taken.
I know.
But everything happens for a reason.
It does.
We're here now. I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you.
If you could just share the dates for the upcoming workshops one more time.
Yeah, of course. Let me just confirm that real fast because I don't want to be saying incorrect dates.
We got October the 6th.
We've got October the 6th. Then we've got Friday the, oh gosh, where did my thing go?
Don't worry, I got your back. I pulled it on. I posted it just the other day.
Than me.
So we've got Saturday the 7th is open studio artist demo. Sunday the 8th is a rug tufting class. Must sign up in advance. Friday the 20th and Saturday the 21st of October. So these are the October tufting studio schedule. And then there will be more as we get further into the holidays.
Yes.
And there will be very limited opportunities in the new year for Valentine's Day date nights.
Oh, yes. Date nights, group bonding activities. If you've got, your coworkers that you want to get together after work to try to do some team building exercises, whatever the case may be. That's what we're here for.
Amen. Definitely looking forward to that. And also looking forward to seeing you at some upcoming events.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Lauderdale Art and Design Week, which we produce in January, formerly Fort Lauderdale Art and Design Week, which we're rebranding. And then potentially with our friends from Business for the Arts of Broward that just came for a studio tour recently. Very nice of them to express interest. So we'll look to see you at Art and Stroll in the future. If you let me come around here.
Yeah.
If you, I know I shouldn't do this, but if you want to play with guns too, you could join us here at Zero Empty Spaces Gulfstream Park in Hollandale Beach, Florida, in Broward County. We have a lot of fun.
Yes, we
support
do.
a lot of artists, change a lot of lives,
Make magic.
make some magic happen. So I'm really glad to have you. I really appreciate you joining us on the podcast.
Well, I appreciate you having me. This was a great opportunity.
Aww.
Thanks, Evan.
Yay, art.
Yay, art.
See you on the next one.